his training camps were the stuff of legend. I mean, he would spar 100 rounds a week sometimes, which is just insane.
Yeah. So who do you like in Canelo versus Crawford?
Well, I'm a giant Crawford fan because I think he's the best switch hitter since Marvin Hagler. I also think he's one of those guys that if you tell him he can't do something, he wants to show you and shock you.
1,000%.
His training camps were the stuff of legend. I mean, he would spar 100 rounds a week sometimes, which is just insane. Yeah. So who do you like in Canelo versus Crawford? Well, I'm a giant Crawford fan because I think he's the best switch hitter since Marvin Hagler. I also think he's one of those guys that if Crawford's
about to fight.
Yes, he's going to fight Canelo.
Oh, man.
I just hope he's big enough. I hope he's big enough to keep that dude off him because Canelo hits so hard, man.
That's one dude that, like, I believe all the shit he be talking.
Crawford? Yeah. Oh, he's good.
He don't just be saying shit. That dude,
They tried to say that, like, Errol Spence was damaged because of what Crawford did to him because he was damaged from the car accident. I'm like, maybe. Or maybe Crawford would have done that 3 years ago. I think he's that good. He's just so skillful. He's so slick. And when he gets, and he's also the best guy in the sport at switch hitting. He'll go from southpaw to orthodox and be just as good and trip you up. Like you think he's going to start southpaw, he starts orthodox. You prepare for orthodox, he's fighting southpaw. He feels like he's got you timed better orthodox, he'll switch it up.
Rogan doesn't mince words. He's firmly rooting for Crawford in the mega bout against Canelo Alvarez. On a recent Joe Rogan Experience episode with Jim Lampley, he was asked who he favors and without hesitation replied, Crawford. Later explaining, I'm a giant Crawford fan because I think he's the best switch hitter since Marvin Hagler. I also think Canelo is slowing down. Rogan admires Crawford,
which I think is really interesting. The Crawford-Canelo fight.
Beyond interesting. Fascinating.
Because how does Crawford compete with that size? Crawford is leapfrogging. He goes to super middleweight.
47 to 54 and now to 68.
And the Madrigal fight in 54 is a difficult fight.
Yeah. So who do you like in Canelo versus Crawford?
Well, I'm a giant Crawford fan because I think he's the best switch hitter since Marvin Hagler. I also think he's one of those guys that if you tell him he can't do something, he wants to show you and shock you.
1,000%.
I also think Canelo is slowing down, and Canelo is more of a one-punch fighter now than the combination fighter he was when he was young. He uses strength and conditioning. There's very few fighters that just train using skill, just train skills. Like George St. Pierre did that for a certain period of his career.
I wonder if there's anybody left in boxing who trains just using the gym skills. There were a lot of them when I was first involved in the sport who would never have touched a weight.
Right.
You know, they subscribed totally to the notion that that was negative.
Right. And the worst case, I mean, they definitely did calisthenics, but that was it. It was just body weight exercises, you know, which brings us to Crawford, which I think is really interesting. The Crawford-Canelo fight.
Beyond interesting. Fascinating.
Fascinating. Because how does Crawford compete with that size? And, you know, we have to recognize, okay, well, when Canelo fought Floyd, it was 152 pounds, right? So he had dropped down, which was a struggle for him, which is why Floyd was so brilliant in getting him to go down to 152, because he knew he would be drained.
Was it 52 or 54?
Rogan also warned Crawford not to step into the ring with Canelo without caution, citing size and power concerns. He also declared he'd watch the fight, calling it probably the biggest fight in boxing. In his podcast, Rogan even discussed cartel mule runners while breaking down the matchup, blending fight analysis.
When you look at the elite of the elite boxers, to a man, to every one of them, they're disciplined. Yeah. And they stay focused. I'm so excited to see this fight with Canelo Alvarez because I think the Saudi Arabians have so much money. They're throwing so much money at boxing. And the guy who's the head of boxing over there wants to make that fight happen. I think Terence Crawford, forget about the three-weight classes. I think he could beat Canelo.
I think he can, too.
On the Joe Rogan Experience, Crawford himself reflected on his 2023 showdown with Errol Spence Jr., sharing how thorough preparation made the difference. He told Rogan, "Everything you see fight night, we drilled it time and time again," attributing the smooth execution in the ring to intense repetition and training. Crawford also addressed concerns about Canelo's size, noting he might be bigger than me, but
actually practicing it, you know, that was something that when I had the cast on, I was like, man, I love the gym so much. I'm like, man, I'm not leaving the gym. Like, I'm going practice with this left. And that's when I got the left stronger, because at first, when I go southpaw, it was only, you know, my right. Then when my hand got messed up, just started working on the left, and it started getting stronger and stronger. And I started getting more accurate, because at first, just throw it just to be throwing it. And then, you know, it just got to a point where my left was actually way stronger than my right.
Teddy Atlas sees the Canelo versus Crawford fight as a classic size versus speed showdown. Canelo brings a raw power and home field advantages, while Crawford may hold the upper hand in agility and ring IQ. Comparing it to Pacquiao's upset over De La Hoya, Atlas emphasizes Crawford's elite instincts, timing, and elusive style. Despite Canelo's proven dominance at higher weight classes, Atlas believes Crawford is very, very special. Canelo is known about matching the scene.
Maybe he's a little overrated.
Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds.
Canelo's really good. Really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire. It's in his mind. It's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moving up in weight class. Can he carry it? You know, but those intangibles, I believe that he has them.
During the training, Crawford has unveiled a dramatic body transformation in preparation for his super middleweight clash with Canelo Alvarez. Having campaigned at 154 pounds, Crawford bulked up significantly, walking around at 185 pounds, with earlier footage showing him near cruiserweight levels. Despite the added muscle, he remains lean and well-defined, showcasing the benefits of disciplined training and conditioning. However, not everyone is convinced. Strength coach Rob Aosta warns that Crawford's rapid weight increase from 154 straight to 168 and beyond could
on size. Crawford coming in the ring and Crawford doing everything he can to match Canelo's power, possibly size, and to, at a minimum, try to just maintain what speed he already possesses. Because, you know, when you go up in weight, sometimes you compromise speed. So we know Crawford and his team are doing everything they can to, at a minimum, maintain his speed. But the question came up, okay, since Crawford is looking to come in the ring fast, powerful, we know he's already brilliant. Shit, what if Canelo comes in lighter? I'm like, lighter? Yeah, what happens if Canelo says, you know what, I'm not going to try to come and just outweigh him by 20 pounds on fight night, because I realize I'm in there with somebody who's very agile and who's probably going to be faster than me. And although I have timing, he has timing too. So I can't afford to be 2 or 3 steps behind Terence Crawford in my speed.
Boxing coach Greg Hackett also believes a knockout win for Terence Crawford over Canelo Alvarez isn't realistic in today's 12-round era. Canelo, a hardened opponent, would simply not go down that easily. Hackett argues that Crawford lacks both the ungodly punch power and the willingness to stand toe-to-toe and trade heavy blows. Instead, he expects a masterclass from Bud, technical boxing over flash, and says only in the old 15-round format might Crawford's style have the stamina and opportunity to wear Canelo down for a KO. Meanwhile, the tension between the fighters is also rising as the fight is coming closer. Canelo quipped that Crawford would learn what happens when a good fighter jumps up and his opponent is a great fighter.
How do you feel like he will do going against somebody like a Canelo at 168?
I think Bud, man, one thing I love about Bud, he willing to challenge himself. And when you're willing to challenge yourself, you can surprise yourself. But that's a hell of a feeling. I think, to be honest, you don't want to sit there and brawl with Canelo, but at some point you're gonna have to fight him. You know what I'm saying? You can't let Canelo press you. You know what I'm saying? Because he great at that, and he a bully. He is a bully. But Bud, I believe, got bully tendencies too. You know what I'm saying? And he could be crafty. But I think if he approached it the way he approached Spence, then we get a way better fight than people think. Now,
Right.
what I saw when he approached Spence was, I can't make a mistake. I can't let him do too much. I can't let him be a bully. I think if he go at Canelo the same way, then we get a great fight on our hands. Not that I'm sorry. I'm not saying he's gonna be that dominant, but I'm just saying I think we get a great fight on our hands.
Andre Ward, the former two-division world champion, delivered a candid endorsement of Crawford in the coming showdown with Canelo Alvarez.
I'm going with Terence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terence Crawford against nobody right now. You got to show me that you can beat him.
Ward said, "I'm not betting Terence Crawford against anybody right now," and added that Crawford is someone you can bet the house on. Despite acknowledging the significant weight jump and danger of the matchup, Ward asserted that somebody would have to prove to him that they can break Crawford's will, and he hasn't seen anyone do that.
I want to quickly ask you a couple of questions. Crawford, Spence. I know you watched the fight and you spoke about Crawford. How good is Crawford?
Crawford is amazing, not just good. He's amazing, and
he said the same thing about you.
Thank you, Terence. But I think he should be in the book for
really? Is that good?
How to learn boxing, you know?
Really?
He's a very good fighter. Yeah, I like to watch his fights.
Pound for pound number one?
Yeah, probably he is now because he is undisputed champion in 2 weight classes. And
it's crazy.
He's a great fighter, yeah. To be honest, I didn't see, I think, Crawford in real life. I don't know how big he is. But the size, you know, when I came to boxing gym and my coach told me that one of the rules, it's like respect the weight classes, you know. You should respect weight classes. But he has a very good skill. He's one of my favorite fighters, active fighters now.
Dmitry Bivol, the WBA light heavyweight champion known for his technical mastery, has expressed deep admiration for Crawford. In interviews, he labeled Crawford not just good but amazing and asserted that for youngsters, Crawford should be in the book on how to learn boxing. Ahead of the Canelo Alvarez fight, Bivol again praised him as one of his favorite boxers, noting both his impressive size and elite skills and affirming that he believes Crawford can beat Canelo.
Crawford. Believe Crawford, even though, fought twice, throughout the year, Crawford, was...
But look who he beat.
Undisputed.
Look who he beat. Look who he beat. What he did to Spence and how he did it, that's 3 fights to me. And it took 4 fights out of Spence, right? I'm a fighter, so I can tell you when you get punished like that.
Yeah, I was there ringside watching the fight.
It takes a few years out of you. Don't see the years right now, but it sort of takes something out of that person going forward. They still can beat some fights, but it really put a bruise on it. You didn't see Spence fight yet, did you? No. Did you hear him name opponent for him to potentially fight? It's been quiet. You see the weight he gained?
Bernard Hopkins believes Crawford's dominant victory over Errol Spence Jr. had lasting consequences. He asserted that what Crawford did in the ring effectively took 4 fights off Spence, meaning the punishment he absorbed has prematurely aged the former champion, affecting his future performance and durability. Hopkins suggested that the psychological and physical toll would linger, altering Spence's career trajectory, even beyond the immediate loss.
One more thing. It don't matter if Canelo is on that. He ain't beat no Terence Crawford. You heard it here first. Plus, I look at the performances of Canelo. I look at his last performances. I mean, they've been all right, It ain't been like, wow, blew me away. So I'm not really worried about all of that. And the same thing goes with Crawford. I know he's with Snack, and I know some news came out this week and all of that, but I personally believe that Snack is clean. I think it's a conflict of interest, the fact that, hey, he knows how to beat the system, quote unquote, Victor Conte, but at the same time, I think Snack, you got products going around the world, this and that. I mean, all these athletes are testing. They're not testing anything or positive by using Snack at all. So I think they're safe. There's no doubt about it. So with that being said, I'm not worried about that. As long as they're testing, I'm good.
Former champion Tim Bradley remains firmly in Terence Crawford's corner, giving him a 30 to 40% chance of beating Canelo Alvarez. While acknowledging Crawford's superior skill and ring IQ, Bradley worries about the size and power advantage Canelo holds and whether the smaller Crawford can withstand his heavy blows. Bradley notes Crawford's stubbornness could also work against.
Why is it that Shiraz was able to knock out Berlanga but not Canelo?
It's because Canelo doesn't go out for the knockout anymore. Canelo's just now. We've seen in the last few fights, he just does enough to win. He did the same against Munguia. He dropped Munguia, but then they didn't want to finish him. Charlo, Berlanga. He wants to cruise through the fight. He's up there. And not in age because he's only like 33 or 34, but he's
fighting since 15.
He was 15. A lot of training camps, a lot of sparring matches. So all that takes a lot out of your body. So he takes care of his body too. So he doesn't go all out because he doesn't want to just finish his body. He knows he still has a few more years and a few big fights where he wants to take care of himself. And not punish himself too much. That's why he hasn't been able to knock those guys out. Not because he can't. I think he just does enough to win. I think Shiraz also has great power, man. I think Shiraz has the power that nobody believed he had.
Robert Garcia offered a refreshingly candid take on Canelo Alvarez's approach to his recent fights, especially following Edgar Berlanga's defeat. He noted that Canelo doesn't go for the knockout anymore. He does just enough to win. According to Garcia, Alvarez has shifted toward a more measured strategy.
I don't think he is, but if he beats Canelo, he'll be like my #1 fighter of all time.
You don't think Crawford beats Canelo?
I don't think so. And look, hear me out. I respect Crawford and everything that he's doing, but he just moved up from 147, so I'm just going to treat him as a 147-pounder. He's jumping up 3 weight classes to fight someone who was like the #1 fighter in all of boxing, The jump would be hard, even if it was just like some top 10,
right, yeah. Bud, would you say he's a very smart fighter?
Yes.
Very calculated,
Yes.
right? Don't you think that maybe he sees something that most people aren't seeing?
I think he does, but the thing is he going to be able to even to capitalize on it? Because he's a smaller fighter, and look, I think people are thinking at the aspect of, can Crawford do it? Yes, I think he can do it, but can Canelo do it? And I think he has a bigger chance of doing it than Crawford does.
It favors him.
Now, Canelo, he has obviously the size advantage, the strength advantage, intellect. I think Crawford edges him out in IQ. I just think the weight difference is going to be the deciding factor here. I mean, like, when I seen Canelo's check hook against Berlanga, that shit was like this. And Canelo's not slow either. Like, this shit was, I didn't see that coming at all. He just dropped him, and I was just like, damn, he still got it. I just think that Crawford just bit off a little more than he can chew, but if he can chew it and he beats him, which I think he can. I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he has 0% chance. I'm just thinking Canelo wins. But if he does, he will be my #1 fighter of all time.
Wow, I always knew that you had a lot of respect and admiration for him.
Virgil Ortiz Jr. isn't shy about his pick in the Canelo versus Terence Crawford showdown. He believes Canelo wins clearly. Ortiz reasons that despite Crawford's weight gain to 180 pounds, he bluntly declared that putting on weight and belonging.
And I think he has a bigger chance of doing it than Crawford does.
It favors him.
Now, Canelo, he has obviously the size advantage, the strength advantage, intellect. I think Crawford edges him out in IQ. I just think the weight difference is going to be the deciding factor here. I mean, like, when I seen Canelo's check hook against Berlanga, that shit was like this. And Canelo's not slow either. Like, this shit was, I didn't see that coming at all. He just dropped him, and I was just like, damn, he still got it. I just think that Crawford just bit off a little more than he can chew, but if he can chew it and he beats him, which I think he can. I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he has 0% chance. I'm just thinking Canelo wins. But if he does, he will be my #1 fighter of all time.
Wow, I always knew that you had a lot of respect and admiration for him.
He emphasizes Crawford's size disadvantage, asserting that if you get hit clean by Canelo,